Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my daily Arabic vocabularies. I am Mudaris Sulaiman Ali. Happy listening. We are going to learn from this lesson how to change the Arabic verb waqafa to suit some certain pronouns in Arabic. Fi'ilun madin, past tense. Fi'ilun madin, past participle. Fi'ilun madin. This is a form of verb in Arabic that one can use to talk about an action that took place in the past. The question is, how do we change the verb waqafa to suit the pronouns below? Waqafa simply means he has stood, and he in Arabic is huwa, being the opposite of hiya, she. So how do we now change the verb waqafa to suit the following pronouns? Wahid, number one. Ana, I. So how do we change the verb waqafa to suit ana? All you need to do is to attach ta'un, carrying dhamma, to the last letter. Then you give sukun to the letter before it. So the verb waqafa will now become waqaftu, which means I have stood. Ithnan, number two. Nahanu, we. So how do we change the verb waqafa to suit nahanu? All you need to do is to attach na to the last letter. Then you give sukun to the letter before it. So the verb waqafa will now become waqafna, which means we have stood. Thalatha, number three. Anta, you, representing a single male person. So how do we change the verb waqafa to suit anta? All you need to do is to attach ta'un to the last letter. A ta'un carrying fataha to the last letter. Then you give sukun to the letter before it. So the verb waqafa will now become waqafta, which means you have stood. Arba'a, number four. Anti, you, representing a single female person. So how do we change the verb waqafa to suit anti? All you need to do is to attach ta'un carrying kasra to the last letter. Then you give sukun to the letter before it. So the verb waqafa will now become waqafti, which means you have stood. Hamsa, number five. Here, she. So how do we change the verb waqafa to suit here? All you need to do is to attach ta'un carrying sukun to the last letter. So the verb waqafa will now become waqafat, which means she has stood. La'alaka fahimt? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. Udurus, learn. Walahis, and observe at the same time. Udurus, study. Walahis, and observe at the same time. Mujabun, positive. Manfiyun, negative. Mujab, positive. This is the state of a sentence in Arabic that means something has happened. Manfiyun, negative. This is the state of a sentence in Arabic that means nothing has happened. For instance, Wahid, number one. Waqafa, he has stood up. Ma waqafa, he has not stood up. Ithnan, number two. Waqafat, she has stood up. Ma waqafat, she has not stood up. Thalatha, number three. Waqaftu, I have stood up. Ma waqaftu, I have not stood up. Arba'a, number four. Waqafna, we have stood up. Ma waqafna, we have not stood up. Hamsa, number five. Waqafta, you have stood up, talking to a single male person. Ma waqafta, you have not stood up. Sitta, number six. Waqafti, you have stood up, talking to a single female person. Ma waqafti, you have not stood up. La'alaka fahimt? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. Al-istimal, now the usage. Wahid, number one. Ayna waqafa al-mudarris ya Khalid. Ayna waqafa al-mudarris ya Khalid. Ayna waqafa al-mudarris. Where did the teacher stand? Ya Khalid, Khalid. Now the answer. وقف المدرس في الفصل. وقف المدرس في الفصل. وقف المدرس. The teacher stood في الفصل, in the classroom. اثنان, number two. أين وقفت المدرسة يا زينب. أين وقفت المدرسة يا زينب. أين وقفت المدرسة. Where did the female teacher stand? يا زينب, Zainab. Now the answer. وقفت المدرسة في المكتبة. وقفت المدرسة في المكتبة. وقفت المدرسة. The female teacher stood في المكتبة in the library. 3. Number 3. أين وقفت يا أخي؟ أين وقفت يا أخي؟ أين وقفت؟ Where did you stand يا أخي my brother؟ أين وقفت؟ Where did you stand يا أخي my brother? Now the answer. وقفت أمام المسجد. وقفت أمام المسجد. وقفت I stood أمام المسجد in front of the mosque. لعلك فهمت? I hope you understand. ما شاء الله. 4. Number 4. أين وقفت يا أختي؟ أين وقفت يا أختي؟ أين وقفت؟ Where did you stand يا أختي my sister? Now the answer. وقفت أمام البيت. وقفت أمام البيت. وقفت I stood أمام البيت in front of the house. 5. Number 5. أين وقفتما؟ أين وقفتما? Where did you both stand? Talking to Hashim and Khalid. Now the answer. وقفنا خلف المستشفى. وقفنا خلف المستشفى. وقفنا we stood خلف المستشفى behind the hospital. وقفنا we stood خلف المستشفى behind the hospital. 6. Number 6. أين وقفتم يا إخوة؟ أين وقفتم? Where did you all stand يا إخوة brothers? Now the answer. وقفنا في القاعة. وقفنا في القاعة. وقفنا we stood في القاعة in the hall. وقفنا we stood في القاعة in the hall. لعلك فهمت? I hope you understand. ما شاء الله. 7. Number 7. أين وقفتن يا أخوات؟ أين وقفتن يا أخوات؟ أين وقفتن? Where did you all stand يا أخوات sisters? Now the answer. وقفنا في المختبر. وقفنا في المختبر. We stood in the laboratory. وقفنا في المختبر. We stood in the lab. لعلك فهمت? I hope you understand. ما شاء الله. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Do not forget to click the link below to download any of my books right there at the comment section. مع السلامة وإلى اللقاء آخر.